Cram, the former, well, boy, the list goes on and on. Former U.S. Navy SEAL, professional wrestler, movie actor, visiting fellow at Harvard University's Kennedy School for Government. We knew him as a wrestler and, of course, the former independent governor of Minnesota, Governor Jessie Ventura. How are you this morning?
Good, Rollin. I'll tell you, there's a lot of formers in there, isn't there? You know what that tells me?
What's that?
I can't hold the job too long.
I was just thinking that, but you're bigger than me. I wasn't going to say anything. But listen, you're also
that's my choice.
You're also got a book out that I think it's been on your mind for a while. I mean, it's the name of the book again is, what is it? Lies.
No, it's American Conspiracies, Lies, and More Dirty Lies. The government tells you.
Have you always been on the side that the government has got some conspiracies going on, or there's something that came out sometime recently?
I have, and it's multiple reasons. About 1985, when wrestling changed and we started flying in airplanes rather than driving in cars, there were times I'd fly 28 days a month. Well, that gets boring as hell. And so I took up reading, and I started studying the John F. Kennedy assassination. I read everything I could on it at that time. So that's what really got me into the intrigue of government conspiracies. And then it was capped off when I was teaching at Harvard, because McNamara came through. I'm a Vietnam vet, and McNamara came through and admitted the Gulf of Tonkin incident never happened. Well, for those that don't know, that's the incident that got us into the Vietnam War, where 58,000 of my generation was killed. Probably 1 million or more Vietnamese were killed, all over an event that didn't happen.
And what was the conspiracy behind why they would have done that?
To make money, go to war. I believe that's why Jack Kennedy was killed. He was killed because he wouldn't go in and invade Cuba, and then he had also did a memo that was going to pull our advisors out of Vietnam. Well, the easy way to go to war, take out the president. Lyndon Johnson, I just read a book, his first 24 hours in office. Get this. You've just replaced the president. Your first meeting as the new president, now it's 1963. We don't have any ground troops in Vietnam yet. We just got a couple of advisors there. His first meeting as president was on Vietnam.
Well, so let me take the hot tub time machine and take us forward now to 9/11. Your book is also saying that there was a conspiracy behind that.
That's the one you're not allowed to talk about.
And why can't we talk about that?
Well, people attack you. People tell you you're unpatriotic. All this stuff. You don't dare ask a question about 9/11.
So, what is your theory in a brief here? What is your theory about 9/11 and the conspiracy side of it?
My theory is completely the government certainly knew about it. Either they were so inept that it happened, or they allowed it to happen, or took part in it.
Is the bottom line money and somebody trying to make a profit all along in all of these conspiracies?
Oh, when you look at wars, people need to understand something. There are huge profiteers from war. There are people that make large amounts of money with our society going to war.
And is there any conspiracy that we might be currently involved in? I mean, what about the Iraqi side of it? I mean, is that a conspiracy that is being continued on with the current administration?
Well, I think so. I mean, look at everything that Barack Obama ran on, he's reversed. He was going to get us out of Gitmo. We're still in there. He was going to get us out of Iraq and Afghanistan. Hell, the wars are ramping up bigger than ever. You know, how come the change? You know what it tells me? It tells me the president ain't really in charge.
So who is really setting these policies and this direction that seems to be behind all of it?
Well, there's a unique books out from Colonel Fletcher Prouty. Do you know who he is?
No.
Did you see the movie JFK by Oliver Stone?
Yes, I did.
Okay, do you remember when Kevin Costner had to go to Washington and meet with the Donald Sutherland character?
Mm-hmm.
That's Colonel Fletcher Prouty. And Colonel Prouty was in charge of the liaison between the Pentagon and the CIA from the early 50s all the way till 1964. And if you read his books, it will change your whole concept of history. The entire Cold War was set up.
Well, let me ask you this now. So you've got this book out, and I'm sure it's not settling well with a lot of people. Have you felt any uncomfortableness around certain folks these days? I mean, do you look over your shoulder and worry about yourself?
Well, only if my book's true, I guess. If it's all false, I got nothing to worry about, do I?
Well, I wouldn't think so.
There you go. No, happening. Mainstream media has not even reviewed the book, and it's been a New York Times bestseller now for 4 weeks. But I've spent this week out on the streets of New York. I've had at least 40 people walk up to me and seriously shake my hand and say, "Governor, thank you for what you're doing."
Let me ask you this: after the book parade goes on and you sell millions of these copies.
No, I doubt if we'll sell millions, but we'll do okay.
What is going to be next on your plate of things to tackle in life?
Well, it's ironically you say that. It's what you're doing in California.
Oh, you want my job?
No, I want to implore the people of California, please vote to pass to legalize marijuana this fall.
And what's your theory behind that? Why should it be passed?
I live in Mexico. Do you know right now, this past year, 17,000 people have been killed at the Mexican-U.S. border because of this war on drugs?
And so you think the legalization of that will stop all of that?
It puts the cartels out of business.
There you go.
They don't have nothing to sell.
All right. We're running.
And you guys have it in your hands to do it in California. Don't blow it. Because if you do it, it'll go across like wildfire. And let me finish by saying this. I'm a product of the 60s, right?
Right.
Well, marijuana is to rock and roll what beer is to baseball.
Jessie Ventura, thank you very much. The name of the book, again, is American Conspiracies, Lies, More Dirty Lies That the Government Tells Us. And we'll get a read on that. And thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you, Rollin. And again, please, California, vote to pass that decriminalization law. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Bye-bye.